the first race of the first round of the KIP Trophy. I get a decent launch as I am able to be right on the rear end of the driver in third. A train of cars don't allow me to brake. I end up getting pushed. I lose a position and I get tapped on the rear end in the second corner. I fortunately don't lose that position. Either way, car number 13 is very close, and he's going for the dive bomb down on the inside on the very fast corner. He rides the curb. I'm going to try to get back at him. I can't. I don't have enough space. I end up losing a bit of time. Either way, not too far away with slipstream. I'm still able to catch up in one braking zone. As you can see, he goes a little wide. I'm pretty close. The pack in front are not very far away, so hopefully I can overtake him and get back to the pack in front. But for now, I'm going to try to overtake him, not lose any time. I am pretty close to him again. He has a little slide into the entry of the corner, but he ends up getting a better exit than me. Not much better, but a little bit better. Too far to try anything on the first corner, so I'm just going to try to be right behind. I almost give him a little love tap. He rides the curb. I get a slightly better corner in general. I gain a little bit of time. Heading into the fast corners, I can't do the same as he did to me. I am too far. Again, pretty calm this part. I'm trying to keep my head down and try to find the opportunity. I'm close, heading into the hard braking zone. I go for the inside line. He doesn't expect it. Pretty good overtake as he can't keep the outside line. He tries to go for a shorter line in the next corner. He gains a little bit of time, but he can't overtake me. He will give me a little tap right now, but nothing happened. We didn't lose much time. I maybe even gained a little bit. Meanwhile, the carts behind are closing, so I have to push as much as I can to not be in the middle of fights and not lose any positions, and hopefully get back to the pack in front. Meanwhile, cart number 13 gains a lot of time. They're braking a lot later and riding that curb and gaining me time. I don't know how he did that, as he went completely sideways on that corner. A little mistake in the fast part of the track. He loses a bit of time, but I go a little wide and he ends up recovering the time that he lost, heading into the hard braking zone where I overtook him. He is too far, but he sure brakes a lot later than me. He is close again, so I can't allow him to pass. This part of the track, nothing he can do at this distance. Trying to get the best exit as I can. He brakes a little later than me. He recovers that distance. He goes for the inside line, for the shorter line, but he doesn't get a good enough exit to overtake me. So he lets me by so we don't lose any unnecessary time. Meanwhile, Elder is very close as he managed to get far from the pack behind. He will be a driver to be careful with, as he will definitely get closer to us, especially if we fight like this, as he goes for the inside line again. I don't lose much time. He gives me the gesture to push. I'm going to try to do so, and if I can, I'm going to try to overtake him again, but I have to be careful. I don't go for the protective or defensive line, but Elder sure does go for a dive bomb and a half. He manages to overtake us, well, one of us. He tries to overtake me in the next corner, but he can't. Heading to the fast corners, he isn't going to try anything funny, but he gets a better exit than me as he enters the corner slightly slower. And with a slipstream, he will be very close to me. I go for the slightly shorter line, but I end up leaving a cart width of a cart. He goes for the inside line. He brakes pretty late. Meanwhile, the driver in the yellow helmet takes the opportunity to overtake me again. A little bit of side-by-side action in front of me. Cart number 13 thinks about it. He goes for the inside, thinks twice. He doesn't try the overtake, as it could have ended up pretty badly. As you can see, there's another kart pretty close behind me, as I could see his shadow in the fast corners. I go for the defensive line as they fight hard. I almost lose a position here as I can't get back to the inside line. I get a little tap from behind. I end up going a little bit sideways, but nothing happened. I'm still close. I still have slipstream. They go for a slightly inside line. I recover quite a bit of distance. I am close again. I'm trying to get the slipstream. Kart number 13 goes back to the racing line, so I can't try anything. I can't afford to be overtaken, and I'm going to try to defend, but the driver in the red suit goes for the shorter line, and I completely failed the mission, which was to not be overtaken. Fortunately, kart number 14 gets a little tap from behind, and I managed to recover that position. At this moment, I'm thinking what I have to do. I can't afford to be overtaken, but then again, I'm going to, well, I have to be with a perfect balance on defending and attacking. A slight incident going into that corner, three side by side. In the next corner, the guy in the golden and white helmet goes for revenge. I think it was completely unnecessary, as we almost go into the tires, me and the driver in the red suit. Fortunately, I lose less time than kart number 14, getting a better exit onto the main straight. I managed to re-overtake Rudolf in kart number 19. He tries to go for the shorter line. He's too far to overtake me. He gives me a little tap, which helps me. Meanwhile, I have to be careful to not lose any more positions, as I have struggled to defend and attack at the same time. He has a slight mistake. Kart number 14 gets much closer to him, heading into the strong braking zone, or hard braking zone. He'll try to go for the overtake. They lose quite a bit of time, so I can focus on the drivers in front. My objective is to recover those two positions that I lost, and maybe even the two in front if I could, but there's not many laps left, so I'm going to see what I can do. I'm getting closer as they continue fighting, which is pretty convenient for me. I recover quite a lot of distance, and with a slipstream, I'm going to be much closer. I can't try anything at this distance. I am pretty close to the driver from the warm-up team. I'm going to not overtake him, or try to not overtake him. Try to get every last bit of slipstream as possible, to get closer to the golden and to the driver with the golden and white helmet. These fast corners, pretty normal. I go slightly too fast, but with the speed that I had, I could still get closer with the slipstream. Better exit on that corner. I'm going to go for the inside line, as I get a better exit on that corner. I give him a little push so he can't try to re-overtake me on this corner. Pretty close to the driver in front, relatively. I can still recover that distance, but I can't afford to lose the position that I just recovered. So I'm going to be careful, but at the same time I'm going to try to get as close as I can to the driver in front. He brakes pretty late, kart number 37. He recovers a bit of distance, but he loses a bit on the exit. Heading into the fast corners, I'm going to focus now on the driver in front. He's going to go slightly wide as I do, so we get practically the same exit. Heading into the hard braking zone, I brake much later than him, and he manages to go a little bit wide with some oversteer, so that's really convenient for me, as I can get pretty close heading into the last lap of the race. It's now or never. So I'm going to try to get the best exit as possible as I can into the main straight. Entering now the last lap. I'm pretty close with slipstream. Anything is possible at this point. I'm going to brake a bit later than him as he's struggling with the cart. At this part of the track, I do it slightly better this lap, and with slipstream heading into this fast part of the track, I'm going to be pretty close. Unfortunately, I can't get to the two drivers in front, but my objective at this moment is to overtake. I'm not going to try the overtake on this fast corner. I have a better opportunity in the hard braking zone. He looks behind, he goes for the defensive line. I go for the outside, so I can get the outside line again, and I go for a lovely switchback. I think for the last few corners on my side, on my favor. Give him a little push as I did with the previous driver. He can't try anything. I defend. He gets closer, but not enough. He tries to go for the shorter line, but he can't, and I end up recovering that position. So for what started to be a not so productive defensive race, I managed to recover some position, so pretty happy with that ending.